Okay, if you've never done an activity like this before, I just want to show you how it works. I have two versions of this activity. There's an easier one that has a simplified lag time graph, and then a harder one that has the S and P lag time graph, and they have to look in between. So I'm going to show you how to do both, and then you can choose which one works best for your students. So first thing that students are going to do is they're going to look at what time the P waves and the S waves show up in each city. So in Atlanta, it helps me to draw a line down. Atlanta, the P wave shows up at 12:51, right on the dot. And the S wave shows up at 12:52 and 10 seconds. And then we want to know what is the lag time, or the difference between the P and the S wave. So it was a difference of 1 minute and 10 seconds. Okay, students are next going to take this difference or lag time and they're going to look it up on this graph on the y-axis. So there was a difference of 1 minute, 10 seconds, and I want to know what is the distance to the epicenter. So they go 1 minute, 10 seconds, which is right here because each little hash mark is 20 seconds. So 110, follow it over, follow it down. So it is 500, 600, 700 kilometers away from the epicenter. So that's how they do the easier version. On this version, students are going to have to look up the difference between the S and P waves and look for that lag time in between the two. So it's just a little bit tougher, not too much, but using this graph, you can look up the time of origin of the earthquake, which you're not able to do on the other graph. So we're going to do Denver because we already did Atlanta on the other one. It was 700 kilometers away. Okay, Denver. The P wave shows up at 12:53 and 20 seconds. And the S wave shows up at 12:56 and 10 seconds. Okay, that is a gap of 1 minute, 2 minutes, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 seconds. So a gap of 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Okay, so to look up the distance for the epicenter on this graph, you're going to need a sticky note or a scrap piece of paper. And I tell students to stick it right in the corner. And I'm looking for a gap of 2 minutes, 50 seconds. So 2 minutes, 220, 240, 250 is right about here. So I tell them to draw a line on your sticky note. I'm going to put a D so I remember that's Denver. Okay. Lift up your sticky note, and I tell students to start in the corner and they're going to slide up. I'm looking for a gap between the P and the S waves that is this big. Okay, so I'm going to keep sliding, sliding, sliding until I find a gap. That looks about right, maybe a little bigger right here. A gap that is this big from corner of the sticky note up to that line. Okay, so how far from the epicenter is that? I'm going to go down. It's right here, so that's 2,000, that's 1,900 kilometers away. Okay, before they lift up their sticky note, I tell them how long did it take for the P wave to arrive. So when does this sticky note hit the red line? Because the red line is P. Okay, so that was right there. So all they have to do is go over here. It was at 3 minutes and 50 seconds. So it took 3 minutes and 50 seconds for the P wave to arrive. Okay, to figure out the time of origin, I know the P wave showed up at 12:53:20, but it took 3 minutes and 50 seconds to get there. So all you have to do is subtract whatever's here from this column to get the time of origin. So in this case, it would be 12:49 and 30 seconds when it arrived. Okay, last step, I'm going to show you how to use this triangulation compass to figure out the epicenter. Okay, I want to point out that whichever version you use, Students should be getting the same distance to the epicenter. The times might be slightly off. So like you might notice that this one showed up at 12:51:40. This was 12:51:30. That's just because the graphs aren't identical. But either way, if you say you have like your SPED kids using this version and your on level or honors kids using this version, either way you should be getting the same distance. So when they go to do the epicenter, they're going to get the same answer, the same map. Okay, so don't worry if those times are slightly off. Another way to double check if you're using the tougher version that their answers are correct is that the time of origin obviously wants to be the same for each city. So the earthquake happened at the same time, which was 12:49:30, and then this is the time that the P waves showed up. Okay. All right, when you are ready to find the epicenter, you're gonna need one of these triangulation compasses. They're pretty cheap. You can order them from like Ward Scientific. So Atlanta, the P wave we know the epicenter was 700 kilometers away from Atlanta. So what students do first is they take their compass and they line up the corner of the compass with the 0. And they're going to take one of these pointers. I usually just use the inside one, but it doesn't matter. And it slides. I'm going to point it to 700. So Atlanta, I'm going to put A for Atlanta, was 700 kilometers away from the epicenter. Once it's pointed there, they tighten the knob. I tell students, don't be the Incredible Hulk and turn it so tight that you break it. So just tighten it so it's not sliding anymore. And then I'm going to go to Atlanta. Okay, line up this circle, the center of it, right over the city of Atlanta. Hold it down with one finger, and then take your pen or pencil and draw a circle around Atlanta. So I know the earthquake happened somewhere on this line. Okay, next city, Denver. The earthquake happened 1,900 kilometers away from Denver. Okay, so I'm going to go back up here, 19, there's Denver. I'm going to loosen this up, 19. I'm going to point it, so one of my arrows, I'm going to have to use the outside arrow this time, is pointing right to 1900. And I'm going to tighten it and go to Denver. Okay, and I'm going to hold that in place. I'm going to draw the circle. Draw the circle around the city of Denver. Okay, last one, Boston, 1,000 kilometers away. Also, at this point, the earthquake, anywhere the lines cross is where the earthquake could have happened. So the earthquake could have happened here, and it could have happened here. So I need one more third location to narrow it down. So Boston, 1,000. So here is 1,000, Boston. Going to loosen this up, point it at 1,000, tighten it. Okay, here's Boston. Hold it in place. Oops, my lead broke. Okay. And where all three circles cross is the epicenter. So the epicenter for this earthquake is in Columbus, Ohio. Students really enjoy doing this part. It's fun for them. So anyways, I just wanted to make sure that you knew how to do this, because I know the first time that I did it, it was a little bit of a struggle figuring it out, and then it gets easier as you practice.